And welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters right here, baby. That's right up yours. I am Mike Galetta, aka Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian the Ranger Tard. We're here to talk to you about some more NFL stuff because God knows we got bit off more than we can chew with 32 NFL teams. But hey, we're going to keep going through it.
We're getting there.
That's right. Today we're going to talk about the AFC East. Talk about a team. It's a powerhouse team. Somebody that this area, Philadelphia Eagles, are probably going to hate us for. But you know what? We said 32 teams, and damn it, we got 32 teams. Today we're going to talk to a guy out of the Williamstown area by the name of Kevin Zane. Kevin.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Great. We're going to talk Patriots.
Doing very welcome.
Attaboy. Today we're going to talk Patriots, and this is starting off well. So, hey, Brian, stat me. Let's talk Patriots.
New England Patriots. So the Pats were 12-4 last year, first place in the AFC East. They did end up losing in the AFC Championship game into the eventual Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. Offensively, probably to no surprise, they were 30th on the ground but 5th through the air. Defensively, 9th against the run and 17th against the pass. They did not have a first-round selection this year due to penalties imposed by Commissioner Roger Goodell after the Deflategate scandal.
Let's not talk about that.
They did add tight end Martellus Bennett to their mix and losing Chandler Jones and Brandon LaFell, excuse me, I apologize, from the team in subtractions. As you can see by the hats that Mr. Zane has brought to the Sports Box today, the Patriots have been arguably the most consistent team in the league.
Our setups aren't usually the opinions of this show.
Yeah.
So just let you know.
You know what? Again, they've been so successful since the turn of the century. They've won the AFC East 13 out of 15 seasons since their championship year back in 2001.
Not bad.
Totally remarkable. However, going into this season, there's quite a bit of controversy on the plate. Superman Tom Brady will be suspended for the first 4 games of the season due to the Deflategate scandal. And as mentioned, no first-round pick.
Calm him down over there.
He's very angry.
Does he know about interest?
He's so angry. They did add Martellus Bennett to their offense from Chicago, and he may be asked to reprise the role that Aaron Hernandez had in 2 tight end sets with Rob Gronkowski, the preeminent tight end in the league. Deion Lewis had a great year, which pretty much came out of nowhere last year. He'll be expected to do the same. Brady's going to have a chip on his shoulder this year, without question, when he comes back, and that's frankly bad news for the rest of the NFL. So, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Didn't Aaron Hernandez kill somebody?
He killed somebody.
Multiple people, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you're going to go down for one. Allegedly. So, the first 4 games, they're going to miss Tom Brady. Not ideal. They have Jimmy Garoppolo there. How confident are you that they're going to be able to get through the first 4 games there and not really miss a beat having Brady off the field?
I'm very confident in this team. That should come as no surprise to anybody. If we get out of this with a 2-2 record, the first 4 games, I think that's a win for us. I think there's potential to do better than that. Obviously, the Cardinals are going to be a big challenge, but then we got 3 games at home. So those 3 games could go in our favor, and I'm hoping they do, obviously. With Jimmy, there's going to be some things that we got to get used to seeing, which we haven't been used to seeing in a long time. He's probably going to throw some interceptions. Brady obviously doesn't throw many interceptions. If you go by the first preseason game, he holds on to the ball a little longer than he should. Hopefully they work that out. It also depends a lot on the offensive line, and you talked about losing the AFC title game to the Broncos. That offensive line just could not hold up to the Broncos defense. And if they improve there's some work to be done. That is going to help Jimmy tremendously. The running back core and this team overall, front to back, offense, defense, very deep, very deep. To this point, we're about 2 weeks, no more than 2 weeks into training camp. They haven't made a single transaction. Like to shuffle the roster, something they do a lot. They haven't had to do that at all this year. I think they're very confident in the depth of this team, and so on.
You mentioned the running back position, and that may be something that Jimmy may try to use as a valve. First 4 games, his first really starting in the league. Deion Lewis last year had such a great year out of nowhere. A lot of catches out of the backfield. But as fantasy players will tell you, the New England running back is never one that you can really count on to produce consistently, or at least not the same guy. Do you think that Deion Lewis can reprise that role this year, or do you see somebody who might be the Deion Lewis of the season?
I think Deion is going to step in and do exactly what he was doing last year, personally. They brought back LeGarrette Blount. He'll be there to be the goal line back.
Who's got to stay off the week?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
that's a side.
This is all pending them actually being on the field.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
And Dion still has some work to do to get back on the field. Once he does, I think he will continue to produce at that level he was producing last year. There's also, I mean, if anything happens to LeGarrette Blount, there's a guy named Tyler Gaffney who they've kept him stashed away. They stole him basically from the Carolina Panthers a couple years ago. They've kept him stashed. He looked great playing against the Saints backups, granted, in the first preseason game, but this guy has been itching to get on the field. If he stays healthy, I think we're going to see a lot of him. Again, it goes to show the depth of this team.
Speaking of depth, we're going to talk about the wide receivers. You want to talk about depth in the wide receiving corps. I mean, you talk about guys like Danny Amendola, Edelman, who unfortunately missed some time last year. I think it hurt him. Keyshawn Martin, Nate Washington, Chris Hogan, Dobson. I mean, you got a lot of guys on this team that can make plays. Who is kind of the odd man out, because obviously you can't keep 6 to 7 receivers on your team. Who is the odd man out of this core? I mean, I'd love to say Chris Hogan is, but I think Chris Hogan's going to make the team.
No, Chris.
I mean, I would think it's maybe Nate Washington.
Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Nate Washington's not going to make this team. I don't think that's a bold prediction at all, because Amendola and Edelman will be there. Chris Hogan will be there. Although I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. A lot of people, saying, "Oh, Chris Hogan, he's always open, whatever." I just don't think the targets are going to be there for him. I think he may make some plays here and there, but as far as going out of your way, drafting him high in your fantasy league or whatever, you're getting a little inside info from me. We play in the same league.
Excuse me while I take that note down.
I don't see Chris Hogan producing at the level that a lot of people are expecting him to. A guy named Malcolm Mitchell, they drafted out of Georgia, was very high on him. He got hurt in the first preseason game. If you saw that injury, he bent his arm backwards, basically completely dislocated the elbow. They say it's not that serious. He's only going to miss a little bit of time, but it could end up working in their favor, because this is somebody who was going to make the team. If they throw him on the IR boomerang, something like that, it could give another guy like a Chris Harper a chance to step up and make some plays. Aaron Dobson is still in the mix, consistently inconsistent. But again, could make some plays. The targets are just going to be all over the place. There's so many weapons between Dion Lewis stealing catches out of the backfield. As you mentioned, Gronk and Martellus Bennett, who I'm high on this year, not going to be the same as Gronk and Hernandez were. However, because Martellus is a lot different player than Hernandez was. However, putting those two guys on the field together, I mean, you could see them lining out wide with something like Edelman and Amendola lining up inside. That creates a ton of mismatches. That's going to help out Jimmy tremendously, and obviously Tom knows what to do with it once he gets back against the Browns. Poor Cleveland. Congratulations on the championship with the Cavs, but I feel bad for you come week 5.
And Mike noted this earlier, actually, that Martellus Bennett, we think, is one of the low-key sleeper signings or sleeper moves of the offseason.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think he could be a big-time weapon for that New England offense.
Yes, absolutely. Very high on him. And that may even eat into some of Gronk's numbers. Gronk is still going to be that same player, but his numbers may not be as high because he draws the coverage. Marty's right there.
Yeah. Talk about defense. You talk about obviously Nikovic is back there, stud player, defensive end. You think about Dante Hightower. In the offseason, Malcolm Butler, things like that. In the offseason, did this team make enough moves that they can stay at the level they were? I mean, you saw Patrick Chung back there, the rejuvenated Patrick Chung after he came out of Philadelphia. But you got McCourty back there. You got some solid players that can make plays. Did they do enough in the offseason? You said they didn't make transactions. Are they comfortable with the defense they had last year?
I think they are. I don't think the defense was the problem at all. It was their problems last year were the offensive line, and that's about where the list ends. Malcolm Butler has stepped up and played tremendously. He was a godsend finding him. Obviously, not just in the Super Bowl, but all last year. He played well. Dante Hightower and Jamie Collins are two of the best linebackers in the league. They picked up Shea McClellan, former first-round pick from Chicago. Won't be asked to do a lot, but next to those guys could look very good. Rob Nikovic, as you mentioned, he's hurt, not badly, but he probably will be out until about October with a torn triceps, unfortunately. But again, it goes back to the depth of this team. They picked up Chris Long, who Rob Nikovic might not be a household name to many, but maybe Chris Long is. great couple of seasons, the last couple of seasons in St. Louis or LA, however you want to look at it. But could come in and be that rejuvenated player. Like you said, Patrick Chung left the Pats, went to the Eagles, wasn't a great player there, came back and looked great. He's a great starting player for this team now.
And to that point, I think the biggest weapon the Patriots have defensively is Bill Belichick. He's a guy who takes guys who you've never heard of and just makes them household names because he puts them in the right positions to be successful. And again, you can't argue with the results at all.
Looking at the schedule this year, I mean, you obviously know that Brady's going to be out 4 games at the beginning of the season. I think the Arizona game's going to be tough in the desert. But after that, I mean, you're looking at the Dolphins, the Texans, and the Buffalo Bills. If Garoppolo can get out of that stretch and weather the storm 2-2, I think the Patriots are in real good shape. Not only about the rest of the way out, but they're in really good shape for when Brady comes back to ease into the offense. Then you come back into Cleveland, which in Cleveland might be a difficult game, but I think the Patriots can pull that out. Then you got the Bengals and the Steelers, but like I said, I think if they weather that storm, they're fine. But the last 2 out of 3 games of the year, the Broncos and the Jets, I think are going to be tough games for the Patriots. Do you feel that the 4 games that Brady's out, you know, with 2-2, does that seem reasonable for Garoppolo?
It seems reasonable, yeah. I think that Cardinals game, you go in there expecting a loss, and if you come out with a win, fantastic. The 3 games at home after that, the Dolphins, Texans, Bills, they're very winnable. Being there in Foxborough, they're hard to beat there. Again, you got those offenses, mostly new offenses. I would say Gase there, putting his offense in with the Dolphins. Texans have a lot of new weapons. Obviously, they're going to try and use the Bills. Probably the most consistent of that group so far, and if that's saying much. But yeah, our defense could hold up against those offenses, and Jimmy could not be, or could be asked to not have to do much. Is what I'm trying to say. With the double negative.
2 games that stand out to me as advantageous in the schedule is Week 10. They're hosting Seattle, so they don't actually go to Seattle. They get that game at home. That's a big, huge plus. But also, for whatever reason, they seem to struggle a lot playing in Miami.
Yes, especially late in the season.
Yeah, there's games that they just lose that you just don't expect them to lose. But it is the last game of the season. Historically, the Pats are resting players anyway, so the game probably is not going to mean much to them if things go out the way they normally do. Those are games I think that worked out in their favor from a scheduling standpoint. And you talk about the first 4. The Cards game you might have put as a loss even with Brady because it's on the road in Arizona. It's a tough game. But those games are winnable games, even for a guy like Garoppolo.
I mean, you look at, we get the Bengals at home. Bengals always play us tough. We get the Broncos on the road, unfortunately, late in the year. Who knows? I just don't see the Broncos doing what they did the past couple of years.
You don't see Sanchez taking over that?
Exactly, yeah. Like, we know Mark Sanchez well.
I think that'll be the Paxton Lynch era by then. So.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So,
by that point, yeah.
At that point, playing in Denver maybe not as much of a threat as it has been in previous years. And again, late in the season in Miami, I think they're used to playing cold weather games. You go down to Miami, you got a bunch of guys who are used to playing in the cold, and you throw them in, it's a good 80-some degrees usually at that point. And I'll be at that game to hopefully see it win.
There you go.
So, well, that's all the time we have for the New England Patriots today. I want to thank Kevin Zane for coming by and giving us some Patriot knowledge.
Thank you guys.
And, of course, we will put Kevin in the Magic Rolodex like we always do. And if anything happens to the Patriots over the season, injuries, something happens with the Patriots, we need to get him on here. We'll talk about it, and we will bring him on the show. Does that sound good, Kevin?
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely. And remember, at SportsBox, we got some good things coming, good episodes coming.
And make sure you're following us on Twitter at SportsBox Show. Like us on Facebook, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel so whenever we post videos just like this, you'll be the first one to know about it.
God, you got to like us and subscribe. You know
Absolutely.
what you're missing. Anyway, at the SportsBox, the only opinion that matters is right here. Thanks for watching. See ya!
Don't forget to subscribe.